Welcome to part 4 of the Novice Guide Rocketpool Node Setup and Testnet. This video is the final episode where you will create a mini pool and be launched on the Holsky testnet. Before starting, you should have already installed your node with SSH, secured and configured your node, set up your wallet, and have obtained testnet Holsky ETH. You can refer back to videos 1 through 3 for these steps. The setup today is the server as a NOOK 11 and the MacBook as a client with remote access via SSH. The Ubuntu software will be used. In this video, we will create a mini pool and go over monitoring and maintenance of your node once you are on the Holsky testnet. As always, follow along with the Rocketpool guide under Documents and read ahead. Here are our steps in creating a new mini pool. Obtain RPL via faucet, stake RPL, deposit ETH and create a mini pool, and then confirm a successful stake. Let's start with step 1 by obtaining RPL with a faucet. Now in our last video, we received testnet ETH. Now it is time to get RPL. RPL is the primary protocol token that is used for stake on the Rocketpool node as a form of insurance or collateral. The amount of RPL that you will need to stake is dependent on the bond size, but the minimum is 10% of your borrowed amount of ETH. Now we are choosing an 8 ETH bond for testnet, so we'll need 10% of the 24 ETH borrowed, which equals out to 2.4 ETH worth of RPL. This is important to make sure that you have this amount because you will not be able to claim your RPL rewards if it's less. You can access the built-in RPL faucet on your terminal, and we can use the following command to check on its status and how much you can withdraw. Now the faucet is on a timer, so each node operator can only use the faucet once every 4 to 5 days. To receive RPL in the faucet, type in the command listed, then you will see that you are able to withdraw RPL. Now this RPL is a legacy RPL token, so you will need to swap the upgraded token V2 RPL, and also the RPL faucet will charge 0.5 Holsky ETH, so make sure you have this amount on your node. To swap legacy to the updated ETH, head over to the intro command line interface. This is a great section to learn about CLI Rocketpool commands. As you scroll down, you'll see service commands, status logs, and no commands. Now in no commands about the 9th down, you'll see the swap old RPL for new RPL. You can use this command for your swap. Now that you have your RPL, you are now ready to stake on behalf. You will need to stake this for collateral first before staking your ETH and creating our mini pool. Now there are 2 options to do this. Option 1, you can do on the website, or option 2 in the command line terminal. But the safest way and easiest is to use the Rocketpool Stake on Behalf website, so you do not mess up the address, and also you don't need to send the RPL to your hot wallet. For these reasons, this is the option we will choose, and you can refer back to the documents if you would like to stake within the terminal. Now since our withdrawal address is different from the node, this command will need to be placed in the terminal prior to hopping on the website. This allows us to whitelist the address to stake on behalf since our RPL is on the node address. After this, we can jump over to the website. Follow along with the document stake via website. You can copy and paste the command for whitelisting your address, stake on behalf there. And after this, we can jump on over to the website. You can click the scroll down button on the Holsky testnet site to direct you to the page. Then you can enter in the amount of RPL, stake, and hit approve. Once approved, you can enter the stake button, run the Rocketpool node status again on your terminal, and then you will see the RPL stake section with your staked RPL. We are now on to step 3. Finally, we are ready to deposit ETH and start up our mini pool. In the terminal, run Rocketpool node deposit. Now you should see this note explain that you will automatically distribute any balance in your node's fee distributor contract, and this is used to capture MEV and if you're not opted in the smoothing pool. Now since we are on the testnet, we will not worry about this, so we will say yes. Next will be to choose the amount of ETH to deposit, which will be 8. You will then receive a response of your commission rate for the mini pool and showing that you have enough credit balance to cover the bond. Next will show your gas prices. Just confirm this and follow the remaining prompts and type in yes. It will then create your mini pool. Recheck your gas fees, and once the transaction goes through, then it should display your new mini pool address and public key. You can also go over to the Block Explorer to confirm this as well. Next will be to confirm a successful stake. Once you submit your mini pool, this will take some time before you're live. So here are the steps that I'll go through. First, the mini pool will be initialized. This means that it will remain here in the queue until we are matched with the 24 ETH in the staking pool. Second, the pre-launch state will transfer your 8 ETH to the beacon chain in the Oracle DAO to verify that it is correct. And then last, our mini pool will enter the staking status and send the additional ETH from the staking pool to the deposit contract via Docker container. Once the beacon chain accepts the deposits, our validator will be entered into the queue and wait for its turn to become activated and start staking. This time may vary depending on how busy the network is and availability of staking. Now we are done. We have completed all the steps for the creation of our mini pool. While you are waiting, you can monitor your status by entering in the Rocketpool mini pool status and looking up the validator pub key on the Holsky beacon chain site. Now that we have our mini pool running, our next steps will be the monitoring and maintenance of our node and keeping up with current updates. Now, monitoring our node's performance will be important to ensure that everything is running correctly. You can do this by direct and by a third party, but it is recommended that you may use a combination of both. The maintenance includes considering backing up your node and checking for updates. First, in step 1, let's go over direct tracking. Shown here are the metrics to monitor directly on your machine terminal. You can use the terminal to review this information. Entering in the command HTOP will give you this display bar here. And second from the bottom is the mem, or memory for RAM, which shows the RAM usage, showing usage first at 1.75 and RAM total of 3.70 gigabytes. Just below that shows the swap, showing usage first and then total last with 12 gigabytes. At the bottom there, the black and blue groups show your execution and consensus client. On the right, you can see Geth and Nimbus. The green line titled RES, circled in red, shows the amount of RAM each one uses. So Geth is using 748 and Nimbus is 384. The CPU column shows how much CPU power each is using. And basically over 100% means that it's using a lot of power. Now you'll want to keep an eye on disk space because if it looks like it's running out, then you are going to want to prune it to clean it up, especially if you decide to go with a 2 gig SSD instead of a 4. You may need to prune a couple times a year. Now enter in the command listed and you'll see that the display, if you see that 80% or more is being used, then it would be a good time for cleanup. Mostly though, pay attention to the mounted file, which is the last one because this is the main disk. You can also track your network usage by using the vnstat you can install by the command line listed. It doesn't work right away because it obviously needs to collect your system data, but it can keep a good view on your network usage over time. Let's move into third-party validator monitoring. You will need your validator public key, and you can easily get this with the command Rocketpool minipool status. Our first third party is the Holsky beacon chain website, where you can create an account and track your validator's performance. Now there is a dashboard where you can enter in your validator public keys for monitoring. You also have an option for email notifications for downtime events. There's also a convenient mobile app for node monitoring when you're on the go. You can refer to the manual for more details. Uptime Robot is another service to access in the Rocketpool documents. It works by scanning IP addresses for your open ports, so if your machine becomes unavailable on the port you specified, it can send you a notification. The directions are located in the documents. Rocketpool metrics can be reviewed on the Rocketpool Network Explorer, which is rocketscan.io. Here you can look at node metrics and timeline of your node activity. The Grafana dashboard is one of the most popular and widely used. Grafana is an analytics platform for data monitoring. It allows you to bring data together all in one dashboard. Here's a snapshot of what Grafana will look like on the Holsky testnet. It gives you stats on your machine's performance, beacon chain and client stats, the Rocketpool network data, and details about your staking rewards for ETH and RPL. Setting up Grafana is a little bit of a process, so for time's sake, we will not go into great detail. I'm going to give you a quick outline of how to set this up, but you'll need to read the Rocketpool documents for setup, and I recommend you looking over the Grafana YouTube video and tutorials to help with setup. A will be to enable metrics, B, import the dashboard, C, configure, and D, customize. Now in our previous video, during our smart node configuration process, we enabled metrics which added Prometheus already, which works with Grafana as a data capture storage system. Now, if you did not do this, you'll need to go back to the Rocketpool service config and enable the metrics. Next, you'll need to install the tracker with the command listed. And last is to restart the node with the last command. Keep in mind, if you have UFW enabled, you will need to open a few ports in order for the outside machines to access Grafana. There are directions in the documents if you need to do this. Step 2 will be to set up Grafana. You can access this on the browser, typing in your node IP address with the Grafana port. You will access the login page with the default password and username will be admin. You will then be prompted to change the password. Next, you can grab the dashboard and attach Prometheus by creating a menu and click import. Follow the directions in the guide for more detailed information. Next, you can tailor the hardware monitor to your system. Some of the boxes on the dashboard will be empty, so you'll need to add them. Follow the guides for each step. The last step will be to customize your dashboard to your needs. You can access Grafana's tutorials for directions. This is really a nice option because you can move things around, add new graphs, and change how it looks, and tailor it to what you would like. You can also set up email alerts. At the end, make sure you save all modifications by running these commands. Let's get into step 3, backing up your node. Now, backing up your node will help you if your node malfunctions or is compromised. It will save you time so you do not have to sync from scratch, thus eliminating unnecessary downtime. Items you do not have to back up include your password and private keys and your consensus data. Your keys and your password files are encrypted and can be accessed via Rocketpool wallet. You do not need to really back this up because you can recover it. Now, the consensus data can immediately resync and does not really require any downtime, so you will not need to back this up. The execution client is the most important for backup. The execution client blockchain data can take several days for resync. Therefore, backing up the data can cause you some downtime. You can access the step-by-step directions under the backing up the node section. Our last step will be checking for updates. It's very important and the responsibility of the node operator to make sure that they have an updated system and updated security patches. Frequently check the operating system package manager. Now, for my Mac, I'll need to go into my system settings and update my software. For Ubuntu, the directions can be followed by entering in the command sudo apt update, which will give how many packages will be upgraded, and then typing in the listed sudo disk upgrade. Once finished, I can run the command sudo apt auto remove to clean up the previous, and then reboot. Rocketpool may also release a new version of the Smart Stack node, which you may need to update. The best way to keep up to this is to subscribe to the Rocketpool Discord channel and review the post under the releases channel for notification. You can download the new Smart Node CLI for the operating system in the terminal for updates. You have now crossed the finish line for your Rocketpool node setup and testnet. Completed tasks for this series include unboxing and installation, securing your node, Rocketpool install, configuring and provisioning our node, creating a minipool, and monitoring and maintenance. Congratulations for completing all tasks with your node setup and successful testnet launch. You are now an official Rocketpool Node Validator launched on the Holsky testnet. Continue to explore the protocol and learn with the future goal to launch your node on the Ethereum mainnet, once you feel comfortable with the process, of course. Please leave any comments on what you would like to see, what she knows should cover next. Best of luck to you in your Rocketpool Node Validator journey.